Soye Savoir, we love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In this bulletin, anti-drug operations intensified. Special audit of Housing Authority. And USP loses millions in revenue. Sporadic cases of chickenpox have surfaced in some areas, but the Health Ministry says there is no outbreak. Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wanganambete says they have an early warning system for communicable diseases like chickenpox. He says they will closely monitor the situation and will act accordingly when the need arises.
Certainly, if they reach a number that we are concerned about, we will declare that, but at the moment it's not. We also have to be aware of the fact that we continue to fight all communicable diseases, including dengue and chikungunya, and there are some communicable diseases that actually may look the same, have the same symptoms. So I think it's important to understand that that is what we have to be wary of.
The Fiji Police Force intensified its anti-drug operations in Vanuatu in the past week. Chief Operations Officer ACP Abdul Khan confirmed to FBC News they started uprooting marijuana plants with a handful of suspects taken into custody. Khan says Kandavu operations continue, although there has been a huge reduction in overall crime in June through August 2020 compared to last year. Khan adds the strengthened approach used in Kandavu will be applied in Vanuatu with more teams deployed on the ground.
With us pushing officers out there to do drug operations, we have about 53% of reduction in other crimes as well that we have seen. And now we have moved over to Vanuatu for the past 3 days now, and we've started uprooting in Vanuatu as well. And
2 men charged for allegedly killing a 77-year-old man during a robbery in Singatoka earlier this year appeared in Suva High Court today. Inoke Ndokanavosa and Timothy Rasova are jointly charged with 1 count each of manslaughter, 2 counts of aggravated robbery, aggravated burglary, and theft. Ndokanavosa is separately charged with 1 count of rape. Ndokanavosa pleaded guilty to the offenses of rape, aggravated burglary, theft, and aggravated robberies, while Rasova pleaded not guilty to those charges. Both men pleaded not guilty to the charge of manslaughter. The matter has been adjourned to the 9th of next month. A special audit has been conducted by the Auditor General's Office into information received by the Housing Authority in regard to applications for lots. Minister Pramila Kumar says some of the information submitted to the Public Inquiry team is not available in the Housing Authority's digital records, and it is highly likely that some people are lying. Kumar says all information should be part of the system following claims by a handful of people that they provided all relevant information when they first applied with the authority.
And whether public or individuals in our society who may have lied by under-declaring the income and or having properties elsewhere, they lied on the form and they obtained a lot. So that's one form of inquiry or investigation being conducted by the Auditor General's Office.
University of the South Pacific Pro-Chancellor Winston Thompson claims the institution is facing grave financial challenges caused by the management. Thompson says for the first time in a decade, USP lost revenue of about $20 million last year under the leadership of Professor Paul Ahluwalia. The university made $179 million in 2019 compared to $200 million for the previous year. Thompson claims the management's disregard for proper processes outlined in the USP statutes and ordinances and its disconnect with the university governance has resulted in these financial challenges.
Because new management came in, new vice chancellor had different ideas and began to change things to the extent where things did not work properly.
FBC News has sent questions to the USP Vice Chancellor's office in regard to this claim. Strengthening local investment is one of the key areas Investment Fiji will prioritize over the next few months in a bid to cushion the impact of COVID-19. Chief Executive Craig Strong believes domestic players will form a critical part of their recovery and sustainability strategy, even though investment spending is expected to fall to around 12.8% of the GDP. Strong says they've revised and developed strategies to increase the success of Fijian-made products in the international markets.
So we have a number of activities that we have planned for the next 3 months, pretty much the first quarter of this financial year. In terms of our investment segments, we are hosting a number of investment seminars online, and these are designed to cover one sector per session, and we are really trying to make sure we're as prescriptive as possible to that the investors or potential investors that we are talking to have the interest and the want and the means to invest in that particular sector.
Up ahead, FNRL State of Origin is back, and positive feedbacks for T20 competition.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
The Fiji National Rugby League State of Origin has returned after 20 years. It will be a battle between the Eastern Blues State Rugby League and Western Maroons at 4:30 p.m. at the ANZ Stadium in Suva on Saturday. The State of Origin was last played in 1998, where East won. FNRL Acting Chief Executive Donna Tambe says the competition is considered as one of most elite tournaments featuring the best rugby league players from around the country.
The East and West competition will now become the elite competition of the sport of rugby league in the country. We used to have what we currently have, the Vodafone Cup, but now we're introducing and we're putting in a much higher level competition of rugby league.
The Cronulla Sharks have guaranteed themselves a top 8 finish in the NRL. This was after their 22-14 win over the Warriors last night. Cricket Fiji's T20 competition is starting to attract a lot of interest. The Suva competition at Albert Park yesterday saw many young players turning out for respective teams, especially in the women's event. Cricket Fiji CEO Alex Conrote says the competition is like no other because there are surprising results.
In the past, you'd always have 1 or 2 teams that were easy to beat. But now with the competition going, there's no easy team in either pools. So the men, they prepare quite well throughout the week, knowing that whoever it is that they're facing on Saturday is not going to be an easy game. So it brings out the best in them, and it's been good to watch.
Cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands today, mainly fine weather elsewhere. And that's your FBC News. Now join us again at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. And remember, in times of crisis, you need news you can trust. Get the verified facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news by logging on to our website at fbcnews.com.fj, keeping Fijians connected with the truth.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.